Hey folks, it's Lindsay Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS mental health moment. Get a chance to travel all throughout our great state, even through technology. I got the great coach, Keith Guy, representing Muskegon High School. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good, Lindsay. What about you, man?
Man, I'm wonderful, man. Every time I get a chance to see you, it's always in some action-packed arena, a packed house. All your games will be close, and you will work it out and coach your way through it and get the dub, man. But tell me how you guys are doing with what's happened with the season and what's going on in the Muskegon community.
Yeah, man. We since it ended, it was of course an abrupt ending to the season. Normally when you win your last game, that means you won a state championship. But it ended a little differently this year, and my heart goes out to my seniors. I had 9 seniors who didn't get to finish what they started, and they had some lofty goals, and I thought we were in a position to possibly make a run at the state title, and it ended, so abruptly. But the good thing about it is we have, all 9 seniors are going to play at the next level, either with football or basketball.
Wow.
On a scholarship, so we were happy about that. So we were able to send them off.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and we're happy about, them being able to start their next chapters of their lives. But our next group, we've already started Zoom workouts. We work out every day at noon, and so we just wanted to kind of, start something. And, kids laying around all day playing video games and not doing anything. So we wanted to keep our hands on them. We talked to them about, making sure they're doing their homework, schoolwork, because they still have to complete some courses in order to get credit for this semester.
Right.
So we're on top of their grades, and we're doing Zoom workouts every day. And so we've been able to see the guys, but not been able to touch them, but we've been able to see them. So I guess
keep an eye on them.
That's all right. Yeah.
That's good. Everyone has seniors that transition, but wow, to have 9 seniors, that seems like an even more dramatic type experience because you got so many people who weren't expecting it to be their last game, even though they have the opportunity to go on. I mean, how have you dealt with that alone? Because you've had so many people that it was just a crushing blow for them with 9 seniors.
Yeah, it was a devastating blow because, it hit me twofold because my son was playing for me, and I waited, all his life to coach him, and we were going to create some more special memories, and this thing ended. We were getting ready to play. We were told there was going to be 50 fans allowed into the arena. And then we got a call back in the next couple of hours saying that the state has shut it down. So it was abrupt end, and it was just tough for me, tough for the guys. And, it was just, a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. Well, speaking of memories, I can't help but talk about what everyone's been watching every Sunday night. Everyone's had a chance to catch the Last Dance, and what has it been like for you watching? And then as a coach with these young guys who didn't live through what we lived through and seeing that, how does it relate to them when they see the Michael Jordan documentary in The Last Dance?
Man, what all these kids can really see with MJ is the shoes they go out and buy. They didn't appreciate the skill and the warrior and the champion that he really is and was. And LeBron is there, Michael.
Right.
But them being able to see just a glimpse of it, because what you're seeing on Last Dance is good for us because we can kind of relive those moments. But I don't think it's enough to really tell this young generation to be able to appreciate the special person and the special basketball player that Michael Jordan was. I think the next thing, I know a lot of people talk about, LeBron, but I think the next thing to Michael was Kobe.
Yeah, and they always skip
that mindset. Yeah, they skip Kobe.
They skip it, and because he looked so much like him, it seems. And the funny thing, and I don't think this was just related to one particular school, but a coach was telling me a lot of his players thought Michael was one and done from college. And then you be like, maybe they just assuming, he must have been one and done, or he must have been just as hype as LeBron. He got cut from his JV team, and his varsity team and all that kind of stuff too. So I just think it's interesting, and I've watched you coach, and you definitely have a tough style of coaching. I say that with nothing but a compliment. And I think a lot of that relates to the era that we grew up in compared to now, and explains a lot. So going forward, when you lose 9 seniors, you're talking about reloading the team. How do you get the next guys to step up and step into the Muskegon culture, or is that something that people pretty much already understand and expect already?
You know, we from time kids are small, we try to ingrain that big red culture into them. You know, they come watch our kids play. We put on camps every year so that kids can see what our culture is all about. You know, there are 10 games. You know, we're in a small community, so our players are touchable, and so the little kids can, for them, that's our high school players are their LeBron James and James Harden. So they can't wait to put on that big red uniform. And but again, I mean, it's I think you alluded to it. Yeah, my style of coaching is tough, but I love hard as well. And you know, I always make sure that our guys understand that you know my expectation is not going to change. I know people are saying kids have changed and all of these things, and maybe so, but I kind of beg to differ. I think we gotta make sure that we keep the expectations high. And you know, if it wasn't for older men in my life like my father and my coaches, you know, I don't think I'd be where I am today. I mean, you have a lot of talented athletes out here, really, but mentally they're soft and they can't handle, some of them. I'm not saying all of them, but mentally they're soft and they can't handle tough moments, and they want to quit when life get hard, or when the game gets hard, or when a coach gets on them, or something like that. But my style of coaching is I want to be able to prepare them for life and tell them the truth. And sometimes that's it's harsh, and that's okay. But the big picture is not just everybody's not going to play NBA basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to be ready for life, and that means going out and getting it to apply for a job and being told that you're not qualified or you're not good enough for that job. Do you quit, or do you dust yourself off and go apply for the next job? And that's my coaching style is all about, is trying to get kids ready for life. And and I think sports is that avenue, and you have to use it as coaches. We can't, you know, coddle kids all the time and just tell them that they're great when they're really not. We can't lie to kids, because our parents didn't do that to us, because if they did, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Do you feel like your approach to coaching, hard nose, and I respect it, because being from Detroit, representing Muskegon, you come up in these environments where it's a reflection of the community you're in. But do you feel that style of coaching is under attack in sports right now? And if so, what do you think the future is going to look like with that?
Yeah, I think it probably is under attack, and but the sad part about that is people see where coaches like myself get on guys, but they don't see me when I hug them or tell them I love them, talk to them on the phone, just in general conversation, talking about life, the rides home from practice, the times we go out to lunch, the team outings, just all of those things. So it's a lot goes into it. Now I wouldn't be able to coach as tough as I am on my guys without building a relationship with them. And I think everything is built on relationships, based on relationships. And that's what I think our guys have. They can handle it because they know I care about them.
Mm-hmm.
And if this style of coaching is under attack, it shouldn't be. It should be more embraced, because our society would be a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting you said that. I can remember being with you. We were getting ready for a post-game interview, and there was some time in between. And I remember you were standing side by side with one of your players, and it was something about that image. It didn't seem like it was more so a player and a coach separated. It seemed like it was the team, and when you explain that to me, I get that, because that's the image I got. Like, after the game was over, this is your guy right here, and you guys together. Does it make sense, that observation I made?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. I mean, I even parent that way. I mean, I'm I'm hard on my kids, because if I'm not, the world's going to be tougher. And I mean, but just because I have to say something to you that you might not understand, or you might not like, or you might not like the tone, doesn't mean that I don't care for you and love you. You know, I love each and every one of those kids the same, and I just want the best for them. Um, and I'm just trying to make better men out of them. And they accept it and they understand it. But it's so much time put in to it to where it's, you know, it's more good days than bad.
Sure.
There's a lot more of I love yous than I have to get after you. You know, it's a lot of hugging and crying together and laughing together than what people see and what meets the eye. So, you know, I tell you, with this generation, if you didn't have relationships with them, they wouldn't play for
They
you.
wouldn't
And
play.
that's the absolute truth.
They wouldn't be there. You know, whenever you're coaching a game, you're always impeccably dressed, and I say that not trying to patronize. You keep it clean. You present a certain way, and you're still able to coach a real tough type of basketball. How do you walk that line? And I guess I'm asking this question for any young coach out there who's trying to figure out, how do I push the kid but still be able to do it in a way where I'm not completely under attack? But how do you walk that line? Because you seem to walk that even when you're on the referees. You'll be on the referee real well, but then they'll turn around to a smile or something. So how do you walk that line, Coach?
Well, you know, I think just dealing everything. Well, first of all, experience, but as long as you dealing with people genuinely and from the heart, I think what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And you know, I just can only can be a genuine guy from
Mm-hmm.
how I deal with people, and I love people, and I'm a type of guy that I believe in people telling me the truth when I'm wrong because
Mm-hmm.
I can accept it. But I also want to be able to do the same to them. And I don't think I'm the type of guy that know everything. I would like to self-evaluate, and I like other people to evaluate me. But I want people to evaluate me that I trust and I you know would take advice from, because I think one of the coaches I think Dabo Swinney said it best. He said, I don't take uh, criticism from anyone I don't take advice from. And so, you know, I try to evaluate and surround myself around people that will really not yes people, but people will really tell me if I did cross the line.
Well, how do you keep grounded? Because being such a fixture in your community and being held up everywhere you go, they know you. How do you keep yourself grounded?
You know, that's my upbringing. I mean, and that would never change. I was born and raised. My mother and father raised me in the church. My dad's a pastor, and I got three other brothers that are pastors. I'm probably the only one that's not. Me and my other brother who's
Well,
a police
you a
chief.
coach, so that's like a
I'm a
pastor,
coach.
right?
I'm a coach, right. So, I mean, I'm just thankful to God that He's put me in a position to be able to help people, and that's what it's all about. It's I count it as a ministry, and you know, I'm going to continue to try to stay as humble and level headed as I can, because you know, again, people who are telling you how great you are will tell you how bad you are in the next second. So, you know, you don't get too high off the wins, you don't get too low off the losses, you don't get too high off the compliments, you don't get too low off the criticism.
I get it. I get it. Well, speaking of community, speaking of the Muskegon community, what kind of message do you have with what we're experiencing as a world, particularly as communities of color, as it relates to the COVID-19 and trying to do the best we can to stay safe and get back to some form of normalcy?
You know what? I'll be the first to admit that when this thing first hit, I was like, that's another thing. It's not that serious. I think we're overreacting. And once it started to really hit home, you know, I was wrong, and I admit that to anybody, and anybody would listen. And so now, you know, I've taken it seriously, and I think what our community and our nation has to do, and our world has to do, we have to, number one, get a plan, and because everybody's doing their own thing, and we
Yeah.
have to stick to it, man. And there's too many different perspectives and too many different plans that we're trying to follow. Instead, we need to get one plan adopted from state to state, from nation to nation. If it's going to be a 2-week lockdown or a 3-week lockdown, and nobody, you know, goes outside for that 3 weeks, let's do it. Because if you got that's just like a team. If you got your point guard doing one thing and your forward doing another, and they're pulling in opposite directions, I don't think you'll be that effective. And I think that's what's happened to our nation, is that everybody's doing their own thing. You got people mad because, you know, we have to stay at home. You got people mad because they don't want to stay at home, or you know, and different places should be open, different places should be closed. I'm not here to say any of that. All I'm saying is that we need to come up with a plan and stick to it, because lives are at stake. And, I think if me personally, you ask me, I think we need to stay at home and self-quarantine, stay out the way, and listen to medical professionals and let them do their job.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Coach. It's always great to get up with you. So before we wrap up, just in general, is anything you want to say in closing for your seniors who are transitioning, for the community as a whole? Just any final words?
Man, first of all, I love the 9 seniors. I hate that it ended the way it did. But we have some tough guys, and like I said, they're in a good situation. If you told me 4 months ago that the season will end this way and the guys will have an opportunity to play at the next level, you asked me which one would I take? I would take this because that's more important. The kids get an opportunity to go and better their lives after this. To our nation, I would just say that let's come together with a plan and let's stick to it. Let's support one another. Let's stay in the house. Let's self-quarantine. Um, Make sure we're taking care of our family. Make sure we're washing our hands. Make sure that we're going out, if we have to go out, with masks on, with gloves on. Just do everything that we're told to do by the medical professionals because they do it. They know what they're doing. And I lastly want to say thank you to the first responders and to all the frontline people that's working under this because they are really in a dangerous situation. They're spending time away from their family, and they're doing everything they can to save our lives and save our community. So I want to say we really appreciate them. And lastly, I want to say I appreciate you. You're a class act, man. You do it right. I enjoy watching. I enjoy spending time with you. And hopefully we can do this again at some point.
Yeah,
we're 2-0. We're 2-0 with you too. We're 2-0.
Okay. Oh, that's a good thing.
You know what I'm saying? So we need you around.
I'll find out which games you want me to come to.
Hey man, look, if you can make it to all 28, because I'm counting the state championship too.
I love it. We're here with Coach Keith Guy, always representing well for the Muskegon family, Muskegon community. We appreciate you, and we're going to catch up with you on the other side of this, Coach.
Hey man, stay safe.
We will. Okay.